Don't forget to click that subscribe and bell icon to receive a notification each time I upload a new video. Hi everyone, it's Mike here and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I've been thinking about words. Now sometimes when you're trying to create an art journal page and you're looking for inspiration, single words are a really good source of inspiration to get your imagination going to create an art journal page. And the word I've been thinking about today as I was driving down towards the supermarket was the word surprise. For some strange reason, don't know why, the word surprise came into my mind and I thought, that'd be an interesting word to use as inspiration for an art journal page. So when I got back from doing the shopping, I went onto my computer and I did a quick search of all the kind of archive of imagery that I've got where I could perhaps pull something together that would create an art journal page with surprise as the main kind of word or theme of the journal. So I'll turn over to my overhead camera and I'll show you what I've collected and what I'm going to do. The journal I'm going to be working in today is my Dylusions, my Diane Reevely 8x8 inch journal, just the box standard square one. I've already glued a couple of the pages together because I like to have the pages a little bit thicker. They're not as thick as they used to be, I don't think, when they first came out. So I now find that I have to glue some of the pages together to get the desired kind of, I want to say stiffness, but you know what I mean, rigidity on the page. So I was talking about the word surprise. So I looked on my computer and I found the perfect image. This fantastic image of screen goddess Marilyn Monroe from the iconic film The 7-Year Itch. Now this is the shot of her stood over that grate where the wind or the air rushing from the underground blows up through a grate and blows her skirt up. Obviously a little bit of a surprise. This particular one, I think, was done as a publicity shot, not actually taken from the film. So the reason the dress, which was originally white, that iconic white dress, is because I tinted it on the computer for another reason. So what I've done is I've printed the image out onto a piece of just slightly thicker paper than what I'd normally use. And I've gone round and I've trimmed around the outside of the image, just leaving that black border all the way. For two reasons. One, I like the fact that it's got a black frame all around the image. It kind of makes it pop a little bit more. The other was because I really didn't want to have to cut around the shoes. I'm just being lazy. But I think that's going to work really, really well. And I like the fact the dress is that kind of pinky colour to start off with. Now, of course, originally, this was a city scene. She was standing on a sidewalk. I can't remember whether it was LA or whether it was New York. I suspect it was New York because of the subway. So what I've done, she's in black and white. She's got a red tinted white dress on, if you know what I mean. So I thought the perfect backdrop for that would be a picture, a background picture of Times Square. And I'm not sure when this photograph was taken, how old it is, but it'll work. She's black and white, it's colour, there's a little bit of colour in the dress, and there's a bit of the road here where I think she could stand really, really well, and that would work quite nicely with that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tear the white edges from this image. Now this is an image that I printed from my computer. I've used my Epson WF2630, and I'll put the thing on the screen here because I know I'm still getting questions about my printer. It's an inkjet printer, but the ink that the Epson printer uses is called Durabright. And when it's dry, it's permanent, so you can use wet mediums or wet glues with inkjet printed images and the colours won't run. Now, I've said before, I'm not sure whether this is just this particular make and model of inkjet printer that uses this particular ink, so I've not seen any other inkjet printers that use the same type of ink in it, but I found it's absolutely invaluable when you're wanting to print something out but you don't want the water-based inks in an inkjet printer to run or go all muddy when you add matte medium over the top, or any kind of wet glue for that matter. So yeah, so the Epson Workforce, that's what the WF stands for, Workforce 2630, and that's the model of the printer that I use when I want to use the inkjet. We've also got a colour laser, but it's only a smallish one. It only does letter kind of sized A4 paper, but because it uses colour toner, it's also waterproof. So the best of both worlds really, but it's a lot quicker to print and a lot more cost effective to print using the laser than the inkjet. So I only use the inkjet when I need to or want to. At the moment, the reason I've used the inkjet is because we're out of one of the colours of toner and we're just waiting for it to be delivered. Okay, so that is all of that torn. Got rid of that white edge, don't want it to be replaced by the white edge on the page, which we can sort. So before I glue that down, I'm going to get some black gesso. I'm using Indigo Blue's black gesso because it's the only one I have left. I normally either use this one or I like to use the Dina Wakley black gesso, but I haven't got any of that left and just can't afford at the moment to get any more, because obviously downturn in the economy all over the world. What's the words in that song? Money's too tight to mention at the moment. Let me just pop something underneath there because I don't want the paint to go onto the next page. I've got some page protectors somewhere. If I can find them. There they are. Ooh, and a spare piece of card. Let me just tuck that underneath there. That's it. Yes, the UK is not any different to anywhere else in the world. You know, businesses closing because of the virus and all that kind of stuff. We're all kind of in the same boat, I think. Unless you're very, very lucky and you set up a business selling hand sanitizer or face masks. I don't suppose there's very many people making much money at the moment. Okay. I'll just finish up with that black border. And I think that is going to do us. That's just going to create that frame, and I like to take it past the edge of the other page just to kind of blend it away. So that's that done. We can put that to one side, and I'll drop my brush into some water. I've got a little paint pot just by my side. Close the lid of that gesso, pop it away, and then we'll get it dried. Okay, so when I closed the jar of gesso, it sprayed dried bits of gesso from around the rim everywhere. What a messy pup. There we go. Somebody left a comment on one of my videos recently saying if there was an award for tidiest crafter of the year, I'd certainly win it, because I'm always tidying up as I'm going along. Okay, so did I mention this is a collage page? I don't know whether I did. Yeah, I'm trying to do just a pure kind of like collaged art journal page. I'm going to add a little bit of paint, but pretty much it's just going to be collage, so hence the big background. Right, okay, so we can do that and stick that down. It kind of blends a bit more. I know we've got the white raw kind of edges, but that, we still want a little bit of a frame effect. So let's get some matte medium. That sounds like it's almost out as well. Can't open the lid. There we go. That's why, because you're all gummed up. Just drop that in the bin. Okay, so I'm going to put some matte medium directly onto the page. This is why I like to stick my pages together, because I add quite a lot of matte medium. So we'll gather that from there. I'm going to just put some on the back of the page that I'm going to stick down, like so. And I'm just going to quickly move that page out of the way. The only reason I'm putting it on the back is because I'm not usually bothered too much about bubbles and wrinkles, but today I would prefer if there weren't too many. Okay, so let's take that image. Before I do, let me just have a quick wipe. This is what I mean about being the tidy crafter, because I don't want the rest of that matte medium going everywhere. I'll do. Okay, drop that back, grab my page, and then I can just kind of drop it down, and then from the middle I can just start smoothing it out to the outside. That way we kind of get rid of as many bubbles and wrinkles as we can, and then we can use the excess just to go back over to seal that image down. I'll just add a little bit on top. Now, as you can see, the matte medium is not affecting the print in any way. So that's going to act as a clear coat, seal it, glue it. Happy days. Right, let's get that dried and then I'll be back. Okay, so while I was drying that page, I thought to myself, do you know what, I could have actually just gone ahead and done this page in my Dylusions black journal. Never thought, see? Never thought, but what the heck. Right, the next thing I'm going to do is just bring back that black gesso again, because what I'm going to try and do now is just kind of blend the page in a little bit more. So I'm just going to grab a clean brush, or clean-ish brush. There we go. And just take some of that black gesso and then just soften the edge, and then just come around a bit. There we go, just kind of blend it in a little bit. I could have left it as a little bit of a frame, but as I'm looking at it I'm thinking that's a bit too harsh. So this is a good way of blending an image into the background, and again you're still creating a bit of a frame. It's almost like creating a vignette. But like I said, I'm going for a mostly collage page. But I like that, it's kind of blended that image into the background of the page now, so it becomes kind of the background. like that. So again, I just need to get this bit cleaned off, this dry, and then I'll be back. Okay, so background is dry enough. So let's just work out again where Marilyn's going to stand. So about there. Like the way she's popping from the page. But before we go any further, I want to add a little something else into the background just to kind of diffuse that image a little bit. So I'm going to get some indigo blue white gesso this time. And I've got my fan brush. I'm just going to dip in, just take some of that white paint out. I've got some water somewhere. He says, no, that's my alcohol. Don't want that. There we go. It's staring me in the face. Put a little bit of water down on the mat. Just loosen that white paint up a little bit, the white gesso, and then let's just create a few sparkles. There. Happy with that. Almost looks like snow falling, but not quite. Okay, so again, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Most art journaling is either 90% drying time or cleanup. It's mostly drying time. There we go. But in my case, it's cleanup. Let's just do that quick. There we go. It's handy just to have a big piece of kitchen roll or kitchen towel. Okay, let's get them splatters dried. The white splatters are pretty dry now. I think if I put my hand down there, nothing's going to come off. Yeah, so they're dry. So time to stick the main focal point down onto the art journal page, which is our lovely Marilyn. So she's going to go there. Probably more of an angle like that. So it just kind of helps diffuse the background a little bit. So I'm going to use a glue stick for this. I'm not going to use wet glue because I've printed that out on about 160 GSM to 200 GSM. It's a heavier weight than you would normally use for standard letters or printer paper, possibly about double, or maybe just a little bit less than that. Just the sort of stuff you can get from any kind of printer paper store, really. Don't normally get this from the supermarket like you can do ordinary printer paper, household printer paper, but any specialist, if you know what I mean. Here in the UK, you could go to PC World and get this same paper, 160. It's HP, it's 160 GSM. Right, so Marilyn's going down. There we are. I'll just give it a bit of a push just to stick her in place. And she's going to hold, fingers crossed, pretty nicely on that background. Love it. It's great. So I'm going to add my quote now. So we're talking about the word surprise. So I've got the word surprising there. And the phrase that I'm actually going to be using is, I've already printed this off on my computer. Did it at the same time that I did Marilyn. So life has a way of surprising you when you least expect it. And I'm going to kind of line the letters up so that they kind of follow the perspective of the items in the picture. So if you follow that line there, or you could do it that way, follow that kind of tilt of the building as it goes. Just kind of helps just to hold it down or hold it together. So let's just get these stuck down. I'm not going to distress the edges because I want them to pop from the background. So follow that, like that. It's easier to follow the lines in the lower part of the picture than it is the higher part. So use that license you get when you become an artist. Artistic license, we've all got one. Okay. That's stuck to my finger then. So follow the line of that taxi cab there. Okay, next. Glue to the back. Yeah. Sometimes it doesn't always work. Just go with what looks best. Don't be rigid. Okay, nearly there. The fun page. See, the cut of that is directly on that plane there. Just by pure coincidence. Okay, so that's the worms put down on the page. I've got one last thing that I want to add just to kind of finish the surprise off. So we'll move that. And I'm going to take my glue, make sure there's plenty on. And I'm going to replace Marilyn's face with Dear Donald. I've cut it around so that the earrings are still there, and I'm following the line of the chin. Like I said, bit of a fun collage page today. Just feeling that kind of whimsical kind of mood. And when you're in that kind of whimsical kind of mood, it's best to just go with the flow. But I'm looking for a white gel pen. A white gel pen. Is that a white gel pen? Let's have a look. I think so. So let's see if I can just sign the page at the bottom here. And put today's date, which is the 23rd of October. 2020. And I'm not going to do any more to that page whatsoever. I just like it. It's whimsical, it's funny. We're talking about the word surprise. There you go. Life has a way of surprising you when you least expect it. And right at the very end, just finish the page off by popping in Donald. I bet you weren't expecting that, were you? That's all from me for now. I hope you've enjoyed watching this. If you have, please remember to give the video a thumbs up, share the video with your friends, and if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel already, you can do so by clicking the button at the end of the video. That's all from me for now. I'll see you all again very, very soon. Bye for now.
I'd like to say a huge thank you to all of my angels, because without you, these videos would not be possible. Thank you.